So let me tell you a story. A young man travels the entire world in search of the greatest blacksmith ever. The young man walks to the forge. As he walks inside, he sees a mountain of a man standing there. His head and his shoulders are in the shadows. This man is wearing a leather vest. He's muscled. He's sweaty. He's grimy. He's the absolute picture of the perfect blacksmith. The young man walks up to him and says, "Sir, I'm seeking the greatest blacksmith in the world. Are you him?" But the man doesn't say anything. He just keeps beating the steel. And again he inquires, "Sir, are you the greatest blacksmith in the world?" Again, nothing. The man just keeps beating the steel. He asks the man a third time, "Sir, are you the greatest blacksmith that I've been seeking?" Nothing. The young man notices a man standing in the corner. This man is impeccably dressed. In all the soot and grime that's in a forge, this man doesn't have a spot on his suit. The well-dressed man speaks up and says, "Son, I am that blacksmith that you're seeking. I am the greatest blacksmith in the world." Confused, the young man looks from the well-dressed man to the man with the hammer and the steel in his hand. The impeccably dressed man says to the boy, "Son, this man is mute. He can't even speak. This man can't think for himself. He can't form words or thoughts. He can't even create. I tell this man which piece of steel to take out of the fire, which piece of steel to put in the fire. I tell this man how hard to hit that piece of steel and where to hit that piece of steel. Not only that, son, I tell him how hard to hit that piece of steel." The well-dressed man is Jesus. The man beating the steel, that's Satan. You are the piece of steel. How does this apply to your life? Think about it like this. Satan is asked to sift you. Do you understand what that means? It means that Peter, in his prideful arrogance, "No, Father, I won't be the one that leaves you. I'll stay till the end." God had to beat that pride out of Peter. So Satan had asked to sift him, and God allowed him to do that, to beat the pride out of Satan, or to beat the pride out of Peter, so Peter can lead the church. He couldn't lead it in his own power. He had to lead it by the power of God, and that's why God pounded that out of him. That's why 3 days Peter's on his face. He could not believe that he denied the Christ. You know who he denied the Christ to? A child, a little girl. Peter is a mountain of a man. He's a fisherman. And this man, a fisherman, is strong. He's big. They're strapping. They pull nets in with their bare hands. And he buckled to a child, to a little girl. That's because God needed that beat out of him. He needed that pride beaten out of Peter, and it did. Peter went on to lead the church. That's awesome. That's awesome.